Welcome back. Airplane ambition. Well, on my way to another IFR flight. I know you can't probably see it from the video, but it is cloudy today. I'm expecting it to be some IMC conditions today. I haven't really posted very much recently. The last flight I didn't really post anything after that flight. I did another cross country. It overall went pretty well. One of the things that I did for the first time was I did a procedure turn at a VOR hold. First time I'd done a procedure turn, and it went really well on the iPad. For the first time, it went pretty good. If you've been flying for a while or thinking about flying, one of the things you'll learn is that you kind of go over what you're going to do, and then sometimes things seem a little different when you're actually in the plane. It doesn't quite play out the way you thought it would in your mind. But the procedure turn was pretty good, pretty straightforward. And once I did it, I think I could probably do it again. Obviously you got to do it a few times to really make it solid. But it's one of those things that I think I'm going to not have a problem with. The plane I'm currently flying is a Cessna 172. It's an M model. And it has some upgrades. It does have 2 G5s in it, plus quite a few of the analog type gauges still in it. And I noticed on my last flight that it kind of came up in discussion, I'm not focusing on just the analog or the G5. I'm kind of focusing on I'm kind of looking at all of them. I think it's keeping me from actually being as tight of an IFR student as I should be. So for today's flight, I want to really focus on the G5 and just really try to fly everything off the G5 and not look at any of the other gauges and see how well I can control the plane. I've done fine once we've got up and got to altitude and just, flying along at a good cruise altitude, have trimmed out pretty well. I have had some issues coming in. Obviously, when you're doing an approach, you're trying to hit your approach points, and then you're stepping down, and there's just a lot going on. You're talking to ATC, and you're just trying to, process all that information. I've had several approaches now where they weren't the most stable approaches until I took the foggles off. Once I got the foggles off, I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit off here. And then, of course, visually kind of get a little more stabilized approach. So one of the things I want to work on is G5 to get more stabilized coming in. One of the other issues I've noticed is when it's time to descend, I am not descending at the rate the CFI wants me to descend at. He currently wants me to be 700 or 800 feet per minute, and I'm not being crisp enough with my pulling back the power and having those settings to where I'm really descending like I should be. So I'm going to bring up that discussion, make sure I'm clear on what the power settings should be today, and really try to nail down hitting a good descent when I'm coming down, hitting that mark, and then of course not going below, because you can't break through those levels, and trying to stay that 50 feet above so that I'm where I need to be. I don't know what kind of approaches we're going to do today. Obviously a VOR. I've done an ILS. I'm probably due to do another ILS approach. I have only done one so far, so it wouldn't surprise me if he wanted to do another ILS approach today, and trying to get that nailed down. So it kind of looks like I'm doing kind of a long lesson time. If you guys are looking for a reference point, I'm driving up. I'm going to be there 4 hours for this lesson time. That gives us time to pick someplace, load it in the ForeFlight, go through the debrief, pre-flight to plane, do a 2 to 2.5 hour flight, and be back in time. So my guess is we'll do a cross country. The way I figure as far as hours go, I've got at least 15 more of these flights to go. And it's, before I have enough cross country time and also have enough instrument time. Now I could do some instrument time in the simulator to pick up some of that time, but really by the time I do instrument time and cross country time, it's all going to be it's going to come out to be about the same. So for now, I'm probably just going to stay in the airplane and do that those hours. It should be pretty close after 15 flights. I still have the long one to do, the 150 nautical mile with 3 approaches flight that's coming down the road, and I'll probably actually schedule 5 hours for that day, just so we have that little bit of extra time to get that done. And we'll probably even talk about that maybe before we do it. So that's where I'm at. You know, when you start this process, it kind of felt like being a private pilot again. I think I've said this in other videos. It's almost like you're starting over. There's so much going on. You go back to a VFR flight, and it seems to be very easy from the workload that you have. And I've said this before, I definitely encourage everyone to do IFR training, even if you're not going to be, you don't want to be a commercial pilot of any sort. You just want to fly for yourself. It just really makes you a better pilot. It forces you to do some things that you would never have to do as just a VFR pilot. So I encourage everybody to go through this more strenuous training. It will really make you a better pilot. So I got a little bit of drive yet in front of me. I will try to talk about the flight when I'm done today and kind of let you guys know how it went. And I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for stopping by.